Welcome to the Coast to Coast podcast brought to you by Play Picks and the Lines. Coming to you from the West Coast, Josh Lander, joined as always by my counterpart on the East Coast, Nate Weitzer, kicking off the week tonight with a nice big slate and a good article on playpicks.com for you from Nate with some of those best bets, DFS strategy, and the like. As always, if you do need a FanDuel or a DraftKings account, head to fdpicks.com or dkpicks.com. Find all those local listings in your area. We did try to give away a gift card on Friday, Nate, but Zach LaVine went the hell off for 50. So we were trying to get you combined points for Vooch and Zach LaVine. Nobody got that, considering they combined for 75 points in a loss, by the way. So we'll be looking to give you guys another gift card opportunity. Make sure you are liked and subscribed to the page and jump in the comments with that total as we'll give it to you here in just a moment. Nate, let's jump into those lines for tonight, Monday the 12th.
A lot of line movement today. Yeah, we have games totals going up and down and all sorts of things as the odds makers try to adjust to this crazy condensed schedule we have at this point. It starts with the Lakers +2 at Knicks, Spurs -6 at Magic, Nets are -6 at Wolves. The Nets are resting their entire team basically. Sixers -2.5 at Mavericks. Bulls are +2.5 at Grizzlies. The Kings now +2.5 at Pelicans. The Wizards +12 at the Jazz. Nuggets are -4 at Warriors. And finally, the Rockets +13 at the Suns. So, Josh, a lot of craziness here tonight. What is your preferred bet?
Yeah, I'm going to start with the Mavs, who've been playing the Spurs recently, and they lost by 2 yesterday. So not a great showing for them. That does mean they are on the second leg of that back-to-back, where they are 0-3 against the spread at home, where they're playing tonight, and they're 4-6 against the spread overall in the second half of that back-to-back. At home, they're also 10-14 against the spread. They fail to cover those games by about 3.5 points. They're about -3.5 net there against the spread. And they generate a lot of their points in the half court. That's, what they're looking to do with Luka when he comes down and have guys play off of him, let him do whatever he wants. He's not exactly the fastest player in the league, so they do slow it down to his pace and play in the half court where, the 76ers will have Tobias Harris back tonight, meaning when Tobias, Simmons and Embiid, when that big three is playing, they're one of, if not the best half court defense in the league. Being able to handle what I think Luka and them are going to bring when these teams faced each other last time. Porzingis missed that game in late February, but the 76ers were 5-point favorites at home. They pounded the Mavs by about 14 points and limited Luka to really bad shooting, just 19 points in that game. I think that, what Simmons does really bothers Luka a lot. You've got a tall guy who can guard him all over the floor. So that's going to be a big problem for Luka tonight. So I do like the points there. It's really small right now, still about -2.5, 3.5, wherever you can find it. And if you do like the under there, I know that's something that you're looking at. I would definitely go with the under, even though it's a lower total versus the over with these two teams playing pretty slow pace and very, very good defense.
Yeah, under was my first inclination, especially when it opened at around 221.5. It's fluctuating 218, 219 right now. I still think you can back that given the recent history between those teams. I mean, you mentioned how good Philly matches up on Luka and the boys. Tobias Harris has kind of a tough matchup against Dorian Finney-Smith. If Porzingis is active, he can at least do a decent job on Embiid. And the Sixers were really struggling to find that half-court offense without Embiid. I think they were 22nd in offensive rating their last 8 games before Embiid came back. And actually with him back, they're 29th in offensive rating. So it's all about the defense. They're first in defensive rating in that span. Yeah. They've gone under in 9 of their last 10 on the road. Dallas has gone under 9 out of their last 10 at home. Only once since Dallas had that 10-day break due to the climate disaster have they gone over at home. It actually was their last night against the Spurs. But as you mentioned, they're much less efficient on the back-to-back, and they are just 3-17 against the over when they're underdogs. So that's some huge numbers there. They just do a good job of limiting what the Sixers do best because they're top 10 in points in the paint allowed, fast break points allowed, free throw attempts allowed. These teams know how to guard each other. That's why you've seen the last 3 meetings, the losing team has failed to get 100 points. So I think I would still feel pretty confident about a 218 over. I mean, going under that total, of course. Yeah. And I also agree with you on a Sixers win, if anything. They have the rest advantage. They're 8-2 with the rest advantage this season. Embiid, you can get 25 plus points in that double on FanDuel. That gets you plus 122, or a double double, you get plus 168 for a Sixers win, and Embiid to basically get his given stats when he's motivated. So a team I'm looking forward to maintain their motivation, the Los Angeles Lakers, who have won 5 of 8 without LeBron or AD. They're starting to find that identity a little bit in terms of obviously leaning on defense first, but the offense has ticked up. They're sharing the ball. They're still number one in assisted threes without LeBron, and they're 11th in pace, which is intriguing to see when an NBA game opens at 204, even if it involves the New York Knicks, who don't really score and continue to grind down the pace. That's really low. It's been bet up to 206.5 as we speak, which makes sense. I wouldn't go much higher than that if you're taking the over. My preferred pick is the Lakers because, again, like the Sixers, they're a gritty defensive team that thrives on that rest advantage. They are 9-1 when they have more rest than the other team. Knicks playing their 7th game in 10 nights. They are 6-11 with a rest disadvantage, and they just don't do much other than score in the paint, right? Slow it down, try to get inside there. RJ Barrett's been great attacking lately, but the Lakers, obviously with Andre Drummond now healthy and they have a lot of front court depth, they can deny that and I think get another key win, which is really key on their schedule because they go home after these next 2 games and they face some really good teams all in a row, and they need that in the West.
Yep. Yeah, and the Knicks are the same. They've got a pretty tough schedule the rest of the way as well. This is not going to be an easy one either for them. I think, you'll see the addition of Drummond really help the Lakers against that gritty Knicks team down low, especially without Mitchell Robinson. I think you'll be able to see Drummond eat a bit as well against Nerlens Noel and dominate the paint there. So not liking the matchup for my Knickerbockers tonight as well. Another team, as we know, I continue to follow very closely, the Golden State Warriors taking on Denver tonight. Both teams Denver's coming off of a loss yesterday, a really bad loss to your C's. So they have a slight rest disadvantage there. I'm eyeing the under mostly, Nate, although I do like the Nuggets in this game. You've got, as far as the injuries, I believe you mentioned no Wiseman, no Oubre, no Pascal. Jamal Murray for Denver's probably doubtful tonight. So we'll be monitoring that, but we're probably not going to see him either. So I'm looking at a bit of an under here. Both teams in their last 6, since Curry came back from an injury in the last 6 games, both these teams are combined for about 118, 119 points a game. Their offensive ratings have dropped a bunch for Denver. They dropped all the way down to about 15th in their last 6. They've missed Murray a couple games, so that has not helped, obviously. And then the Warriors have been a bottom 5 offense in the league recently, failing to score, more than 110 points in most of those games. And Denver, they do what they stop what the Warriors are looking to do. The Warriors are a fast break team. They're currently 8th in the league in fast break points a game. And Denver actually in their last 6 especially has been tied for the least amount of fast break points given up to their opponent, with guys like with all those long wings getting back on D, and a lot of athleticism on defense for the Nuggies now with Aaron Gordon. They are the Nuggets. They're not very good on 0 days rest, especially against the over. The over is 4-8 when the Nuggets are playing on 0 days rest. And as we mentioned, without their main guard there, Jamal Murray, I don't think that there'll be too much scoring in this game. I think you'll continue to see Denver slow the ball down a lot, play in the bottom 5 in pace in the league, and that'll dominate what the Warriors do, which is attempt to get that pace up. They're top 5 in the league. And I just think Denver will have their will. And Jokic is pissed. I'm surprised he didn't get a technical yesterday. He was getting mad in that Celtics game, blaming everything on the refs. I think you'll come back tonight and see him. I'm going to be eyeing his props. When Jamal Murray sits, he averages more than 11 assists per game. So I'm going to be eyeing some Jokic stuff tonight, as I think he'll be coming back in a big way.
He's blaming the refs for good reason. This is the MVP of the league. He averages under 5 free throw attempts per game. Sure, he takes a lot of junk that is an off-balance step back that you're not really going to get a foul call on. But yeah, he deserves a little more respect, and he's going to earn it tonight, without the Warriors having anyone to defend him. I like Nuggets unders in general. I like where you're at with that trend right now. I see Steph as such an anomaly that I'm not going to follow numbers because obviously he's been on fire. He has smoked the Nuggets in the past. If Jamal Murray's out, he can really roast. I mean, what if they put Campazzo on him for a period? That could get ugly.
Better not.
Yeah, so I don't know about the total, but yeah, I do like the Nuggets to bounce back. They have been the best team in the NBA really since the All Star break, and the Celtics came back and stunned them last night. I think they will bounce back after that kind of lapse against a
Yep.
much less. Yeah.
And before we go too far, we're going to be eyeing that tonight. Going to go ahead and drop that prop for you guys. If you do like and subscribe to the video, jump in the comments tonight. Give us the combination of Nikola Jokic's point total plus Steph Curry's point total combined in that game tonight. Have a little fun with opponents, seeing how much they can score on each other. Drop that total in there. As I said, make sure you are liked and subscribed to the video to be eligible for that gift card, which we'll be looking to give away after tonight's game.
Yeah, probably go around 60 on that. Maybe not all the way up to 75, which we saw from our Bulls duo.
Yep.
And I expect them to be back at it again tonight against Memphis, who is playing their 5th game in 7 nights. Bulls playing their 7th game in 10 nights. Just an insane schedule for both these young teams. Usually that results in a little more tired legs defensively. We've seen the overhit in 9 of the last 12 for the Grizzlies, including 4 straight. We've seen them ramp up the pace considerably since the All-Star break. They're number 3 in offensive rating over their last 6 games, and their last 3, they're averaging a league high 70 points in the paint, including 88 last time out against Indiana. Chicago, kind of a similar team in terms of not being able to guard the paint, especially now they have Vucevic, bless him for his offensive ability, but he's a lot like Sabonis in that he's not stopping anyone. Yeah. So I like Memphis to be able to get their points, and I like the Bulls to be able to clap back, who I mentioned on Friday. They're 3rd in the NBA in road scoring. They average 116 on the road. The total here is sticking around 229, which is pretty good. Definitely something you'd want to hit. And the Bulls are 18-10 against the over when facing the West. Zach LaVine in particular is the prop that I'm eyeing. He averages 29.3 points on 53% field goal shooting when facing the West. He's gone 27 plus in 6 straight on back-to-backs, and obviously had a huge game Friday. You can get his prop at over 26.5 points, about minus 120 on your odds there. And if you want to juice the odds on FanDuel, again, you can get him plus 285 to score 25 points in a win. Don't know if I necessarily trust that win, considering Memphis has handled the Eastern Conference, but my preferred prop would just be to take his points, take the total points in this game, and hope for another high scoring affair.
Yeah, I like the points as well. I definitely like LaVine, as you've seen the Grizzlies give up a ton of points to wing players recently. The total in that Knicks game recently was 260. If you're going to give up 133 points to the Knicks, and RJ Barrett had a really nice game, I think that they're primed for another high scoring game, as Memphis is going to continue to do all season. So anybody you're eyeing in that game actually for some DFS purposes tonight?
Yeah, I mean, obviously Zach LaVine, as we mentioned, really ramping up. Hasn't had any problem on short rest, so he's a great pick. Also, at shooting guard, Joe Ingles is going to be running basically the entire night for the Jazz, with Mike Conley out, Jordan Clarkson doubtful. The Nets are sitting Harden and Kyrie and LaMarcus Aldridge. Kevin Durant still hasn't played more than 25 minutes, so you can look at guys like Jeff Green, Nicholas Claxton, and Bruce Brown to get some value there against a bad Wolves defense. I really like De'Aaron Fox against the Pelicans with Lonzo Ball either hobbled or out. Nickel Alexander-Walker's out, so he should keep them on pace with Zion and the boys. And Andre Drummond is still a very economical option at center. He should only see more run as he gets used to Lakers. I would also look at Horton Tucker if Kyle Kuzma remains out, because they need to find that wing scoring somewhere.
Yep, if it's not Kuzma, it's going to be THT for sure. We'll wrap it up there, Nate. Another good show for you guys. Hopefully you are getting some stuff out of this from us. We'll be back tomorrow with another big one. Make sure you are liked and subscribed. Jump in those comments tonight. Let us know about that prop, Curry plus Jokic point total, and anything else you guys are betting on, having a good time, seeing what you guys are doing each night as well with all this stuff that we're talking about. So have a good one tonight, y'all, and we'll be back with another show tomorrow.